what we do for our cats. We always have like our blinds in our living room at half mast so the cats can see outside. And I want to continue to learn so that when I look at the books, it's not just like a sea of books. And make sure the zippers work. Very important on purses. Zip it. Zip it good. With Sparta. Sparta's looking at the snow. We got some snow. Woohoo! Hey, buddy, say hi. He's up in his cat tower. He's enjoying life, looking at the snow and whatever's outside. He doesn't like that we can't open the windows, though. Or we won't open the windows. It's like 10 degrees today. Sorry, buddy. You have to wait maybe 3 more months when it gets warmer. Hey there, how's it going, you guys? Happy winter. We hit January and we're getting our cold weather. I think we're up to 9 or 10 today, and we're going to be to 1 like tomorrow. Brr! But I'm cozy at home, in my home with my 2 cats. There's Sparta, and then Oliver's, I think, asleep on our bed. They're staying warm and cozy and dry, and I love getting the snow. You can't really see much out this window. And sorry about the ugly bungee cord there. These blinds are broken, so that's the way we kept them up so the cats could always see outside. You know what we do for our cats? We always have like our blinds in our living room at half mast so the cats can see outside. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about what to do when you're out thrifting, like in a thrift store mostly, or anywhere you're sourcing. What to do before you buy that item. You don't want to just start grabbing things, of course, and I'm sure you don't, but you really want to be thinking hard before you pick up the item, put it in your cart, and take it to the register. You're spending your cold hard cash here, even if it's $1 or a free item. You don't want to just take it. I've learned that over the years. I've taken things because they're free or they were really inexpensive, like $1 or $2, and then I get it home and it's not worth anything on eBay, so it's not worth my time and effort to list it, so it gets redonated. My husband still doesn't understand that. He'll get something, he'll like, it's only $1. I'm like, honey, it's $1, but if I can't sell it for much on eBay, it's being donated back to the store. So it's really not worth our time and effort. And I'm schooling him, and he's doing well. He's great. But he's out in the snow driving. And he just broke down. Poor guy went to Les Schwab and got new tires, and he broke down now. And it's going to be an hour for somebody to come out there and help him. So I feel bad for him. But he'll get it fixed and get back on the road, and he'll be okay. He doesn't mind driving in this weather. I don't like it. I love the snow. I love seeing it falling. I love looking out the window and seeing it, but I don't like walking around or driving in it. So fortunately, I don't have to go out today. All right, things you want to look. I just wrote down the 5 most important things you need to be thinking about before you buy that item: brand, style, color, quality, and condition. So let's talk a little bit about that. Brand, of course, you're going to look on your eBay app, find out what's selling for $20 or more. And, you know, after a while, you'll learn brands and you won't even have to look them up on eBay. You'll know that that's going to sell. It's going to sell for at least $20 or more profit. Style, style is important. Sometimes the brand doesn't matter. I just sold a women's coat or jacket I bought for $12 at a thrift store. I normally don't pay up that much, but it was going to be for me. And then I got it home and it was really tight in the sleeve, so I decided to list it. I just listed it for $30. There is no brand on this, you guys. It was unbranded, but it was a beautiful jacket. It was floral, it had different colors. It was really an appealing jacket, and somebody pulled the trigger and they paid $30 plus shipping on it. So brand is not always the most important thing, but it can be important in a lot of instances depending on what the item is. So style and color, that I don't like to list black things. I try and stay away from black pants or black shirts or black sweaters. They don't photograph well. They're hard to see. I do have maybe 3 or 4 black things listed in my store, but I really try and stay away with it. I had a cashmere sweater. I think it took longer to sell just because it was black. Black is hard for me anyway, and navy blue, to photograph and make it stand out so you could see the features. I'm talking about clothing mostly, but black other items can be tough too. So if you have a black item, make sure you use either a light gray or a white or light beige background so it stands out. You definitely don't want to use a dark background. Quality is important. A lot of times you can pick up an item, let's say it's a figurine or something like that. You pick it up, if it's lightweight, that's a cheap item. Put it back. If it's heavy in quality, look on the bottom, look at what the marking is. If it's a good marking, either old or a good brand, pick it up if it's worth it for you. Yeah, so that's quality. Is a lot of times you could tell by looking at it, but a lot of times you have to touch the item. You got to feel it. If it's clothing, a lot of times you go feel the material and you could just tell it's quality. Obviously there's all different kinds of fabrics that are good: leather, suede, cashmere, wool. There's a silk. There's a whole bunch, but a lot, I could a lot of times tell quality when I'm just looking at the item, but not always. Sometimes I have to touch it, go, oh yeah, this is really good quality. I'm getting this. All right. And then very important is condition. We obviously, most of us are selling pre-owned items. Some people just sell new items. But if you're a reseller like me, you sell a lot of pre-owned items. And we like to sell gently used pre-owned items, but some of us, like myself, have listed and sold items that are less than pristine, that have some defect or flaw on it. But as long as you describe it, that is fine. But condition, obviously new condition is the best, or gently used like new, or even very good is fine. This is what we are looking for. I've talked about this before. If it's a collectible or very highly sought out item, even if it has flaws like stains or rips or tears, you could still pick it up and sell. It just won't just won't sell for as much as if it was pristine and it had no flaws. All right, so let's start by category, you guys. Like, we're going to a thrift store. Let's say we head to the books first. So when I go look at the books, I've been trying to do a lot of research. So I'm schooling myself about books. I'm learning on eBay what books sell, but I still have a long ways to go. And I want to continue to learn so that when I look at the books, it's not just like a sea of books. And I'm like, oh, let's randomly look up this one. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. But I'm learning as I've sold some high-end books, or books that have sold for $200 and up. I'm learning what does sell well on eBay. Like I said, I still have a long way to go for learning, and that will come over time. But when I look at books, I'm looking for vintage books, old books, actually books without a barcode. Those are usually the more valuable ones. Not always. There's newer books that are worth good money. And I'm talking about money like $20 and over. Even a $15 books might be okay if you spend $1. It depends. But I would like to do a $20 book and higher. That's what I look for. I did look up a few books when I was at the thrift store the other day, and I ended up buying 3 books. One was, I think, like a science book. A lot of times the books, the educational books, are worth money. Some of the times they're not worth money. Some of the times they're dime a dozen, so they're not. But you want to look them up. I also bought this fashion book from like the 1940s. I'll put it up on the screen. And I have that listed for like 35 to 40 right now because it's rare. There was only one other listed. So I did find some books when I went looking, but it took me about an hour to look through all of them. So, you know, there is some time spent if you don't know what you're looking for. But when you look at the book and you get it, open it up. You're looking for any rips or tears or stains. If they're minimal, like on just went in the inside of the covers, that's fine. You're looking if it's an ex-library book. You can still sell those, but you should put that on the listing. And you're also looking for, I sold a book my mom gave me and I really thought I'd look through it, but I didn't look through it well enough. My mom had underlined a lot of the pages. The customer was a little unhappy about that. We ended up settling on a partial refund. She was really nice about it. I looked through it, but I didn't look through it all the way, so I didn't see the underlines. Very important to look through the book, flip through it, look through several of the pages, make sure it doesn't have underlining or rips or tears. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about curling irons, hair dryers, hot rollers. If you sell things like that, I kind of been off and on those. Sometimes I've done well. Hot rollers, if it's new in the box or it's vintage but it's in a box, those do well for me. But I did buy some hot rollers at a thrift store a few weeks ago when we were in visiting my family, and I didn't open it up. It wasn't in a box. It was just in, you know, the case it comes in, and it had a whole bunch of hair in it. And I tried to wash it. It didn't work. I ended up getting rid of it. That was a waste of money. I should have opened up and looked. But for now on, I won't be getting hot rollers unless they are pristine or sealed in the package. Hair dryers and curling irons, you want to make sure there's no hair on those. Probably would be the hair on the curling iron, like the kind that are like brushes. Some of those can do well on eBay, but make sure there's no hair in there, or if you're willing to take the time to take the hair out. You just want it to look good for the customer. You don't want to list an item that has a bunch of hair in it. That's kind of gross, and nobody's going to buy that. So, all right. So purses, I do enjoy selling purses. I'll look at them, I'll look at the purses, and then there'll be tote bags with them and backpacks. I sell all of those. I'm always looking, obviously, for condition, stains, holes, tears. You always want to look through the whole purse and the outside and the bottom and the edges. Look by the strap, too, because I bought purses that are frayed near the strap, and I forgot to look there, and I got a return. Definitely look at the strap and look at where the strap meets the purse. There could be fraying there. There could be stains there. There could be stitching that's that has gotten loose. Definitely want to look there. You want to open up the purse. If there's just like lint and stuff inside, that's okay. You can dump that out if you purchase it and clean that out. It's not so bad if the lining of the purse has stuff in it, but you don't want the exterior of the purse to have anything unless it's a small thing that you could disclose in your listing. Same with backpacks, same with tote bags, same thing. Backpacks, you want to unzip all the openings and look in there and make sure the zippers work. Very important on purses. Zip it. Zip it good. Zip it open and closed. Make sure that zipper works. Again, a long time ago, I didn't check the zipper, got the purse, went to list it. I think I did sell it, but I had to say the zipper didn't work, and I got less money than I would have. Somebody who is a seamstress who can mend that, they might like that, but most people don't want a broken zipper, and they don't want to take the time to fix it. So, very important to check for that. Hats, caps. You want to look under the brim for stains. It's not a big deal if it's a stain you think that'll come out in the wash. I use Folex. I wash almost all my caps or hats unless they have a tag on it and it's pristine, then I don't. But I always do Folex under the brim if it needs it. Look under the brim and look around the edges of the cap, where you put on your head. And obviously look at the whole cap. as a whole to make sure there's no stains. If there are some stains, make sure that you can get them out, like with the Full X, when you throw them in the washing machine. I've thrown caps in the washing machine. I use the styrofoam heads to dry them on, so when they dry, it's formed like a head, you know. The cap is formed correctly. It's not all wrinkled and crumpled up. So yeah, hats are very easy to list, you guys. I used to kind of get bored with them, but now I don't mind them. They are, oh my gosh, they're very easy. You don't need measurements. And they're not breakable. They're very easy to ship, list and ship. So I recommend caps if you want to sell those. You know, look for the right sports teams or the right city or whatever it says on the cap. Make sure it's something. I just listed a Leopold cap. Those sell well. It has like a embroidered L on the front. You know, there's plenty of caps that sell well on eBay. Just do your research. You know, again, you're looking for the quality. If it's a wool cap or has some wool in it, that's going to sell for more than if it doesn't. You know, obviously certain sports teams are going to sell for more, or a player like Michael Jordan. I told you before, I sold like an $80 Michael Jordan Just On cap a few years ago. So just do your research, or at least learn the market and the brand so you know what to pick up. All right, shoes. You're looking for, you know, stains, wear. If these are stains that are minimal, or you can get them out in the wash using either OxyClean or Full X, great. I've done that before, and I've also listed and sold shoes with stains on them. If the rubber, I wash them, but if all the stains don't come out on the sides on the rubber, you know, people don't usually care. Or if the bottoms have stains or whatever on there, they don't care about that, as long as there's nothing major on the shoe that's a stain or a rip or tear. But yeah, you're looking for quality. Brand is important with shoes. You know, sometimes colorful is better, sometimes the style. If it's certain sandal, if it's a Gladiator sandal, those tend to sell well for me. I just currently listed candies. Those are vintage. This took me back to the 80s. I always liked those. Candy shoes. I just listed some peep toe candy shoes, and I have some watchers on those. So just inspect for any of these things. Inspect either the garment or the shoe or the book or whatever you're buying. Just look them over. And there have been plenty of times I've missed things, and I've gotten home and I'm like, oh no, when I go to list, I notice it, or I totally missed it. Like, I sold a dress with 3 holes in it. And I swear, you guys, I looked it over, but the girl was so nice. She said, I totally see why you missed it. There's so much fabric. And it did kind of blend in. What I should have probably done is pulled the dress tight, and I probably would have seen them. But I was kind of inspecting when the dress was hanging up, and it kind of, you know, was hanging in folds, so I didn't see them. But I gave her a partial refund, and she's happy, and that all worked out. But I tried my very best to inspect everything, especially clothing. I look under the arms. I look around the collar. You don't want to have that ring around the collar. That can be removed in the wash sometimes, not always. You know, look on the hem. Make sure there's no fraying or pilling. You know, collar, cuffs. Look on the cuffs. Look on the hem. Look under the arms. But look at the whole garment overall, and just kind of pull on it and stretch it and look at it all angles. Make sure you're looking at it in good light. It's all important. And if you find anything, disclose it. That's the most important thing. You don't want to INAD, which is not as described. And that's not a good thing. All right. So clothing, I kind of talked about a little bit, you know, check for flaws. The brands can be important, but like I said, with a jacket I just sold, the brand's not always the most important. Sometimes colorful is good, but it doesn't have to be colorful. As you guys know, there's tons of different kinds of clothing, styles, brands, quality, condition. Again, feel the fabric for the condition of it. If it seems like quality, you're going to get better money for those. Housewares, if you sell pots or pans, that type of thing. You know, anything somebody would have in their kitchen, frying pans, griddles, even appliances like waffle makers and that kind of thing, check them. Always open them up, look on the bottom and the top and the handle, look at them very closely, inspect them. I have sold pans with like scratches on the bottom. I don't think people care about that because that's what goes on the stove. But if it has scratches otherwhere, if they're minor and it's a good selling brand, like Farberware or something, I'll probably pick it up. Also, you want to have the lid. I have sold saucepans without the lids if they're a good selling brand, but most people want the lid. So, if it comes with the lid, it's a good selling brand. There's tons of different kinds of enamelware and brands, houseware, pots, pans, brands. Look them up. Some of them sell for a lot of money. Hard goods, obviously if it's sealed in the box, you're golden. You don't have to do anything. But sometimes they're sealed, but they're sealed by the thrift store. And I've done this before, thinking it was sealed, sold, and the person opened and they're like, this is used. I'm like, oh no. So I tell my husband, well, he already knows. But we both open it up. We carry like a little knife. I carry a little knife in my purse. It looks like this, but it retracts. So it's not like exposed. And I just open up the, whatever it is, open up the box and look in there. And if it's gently used, it'd still be okay. But you really want the things that are wrapped in plastic, which they're brand new and unused. And you want to describe accordingly. You do not want to just blindly buy a hard good or a toy or something in a box that you think is new, but the thrift store sealed it. You thought it was factory sealed and it wasn't. And the person gets it and they're very unhappy at the condition. In fact, I did that with the ink cartridge once. It was taped up by the store and I just sold it thinking it's fine. Gosh, the person had taken their old ink cartridge and put it in there and sealed it up, which is so wrong. So my customer got it and of course they're upset. They're wanting a brand new cartridge. Well, I had to refund them. That wasn't good. So for now on, I don't do that. Just learn your lesson, you guys. Hopefully you don't do any of these things. So you don't have to learn a lesson. But if you have to learn your lesson, learn it once. Don't do it again. You don't want unhappy customers. It's a terrible feeling. All right. So sunglasses. I really enjoy selling sunglasses. You can just see Sparta's back. And they're fun to sell. They're easy to list. And shipping isn't bad. I try to find a sunglass case that you find at like a thrift store. A lot of times they just either give away or sell very cheaply sunglass cases. Or I wrap it up in, bubble wrap and I put it in a bubble. You really want to wrap it up good because it is breakable. It's plastic. So, wrap it up really good. You can put it in a box. Maybe do a poly mailer if it's a bubble mailer. If it's wrapped up really good with bubble wrap and packing paper. I have done that. I've never really had glasses. I don't remember if glasses have been damaged or somebody returned them, thank God. Things to look for on sunglasses. You want to make sure there's no scratches on the lens. You got to look at those very carefully. And it's fine if there's smudges, like from fingers, that's going to happen. But you don't want scratches unless they're very minor. I have done that. Or you don't want the film on the lens to be wearing off. I've seen glasses like that where they just, sat in the sun or whatever, and the film is coming off. And I'm talking about the film on the tint on the glasses. Like sunglasses have tints. Different colors too, browns and blues and greens, and some are reflective, some are not. So you definitely want to make sure it's good condition. Look on this inside of the glasses. You will see the brand name, most likely. If not, it's probably cheap from China or something. You don't want to pick it up. I just listed a pair of Pugswear sunglasses. That's a pretty good brand. They haven't sold yet, but they're really cool looking. They look like ski glasses. And there's different type of glasses too, you guys. They're like the ski ones. There's aviator glasses. There's bifocal spectacles. There's all different kinds. And you can look those up on the internet. You can also see what other people are listing and seeing what they're calling them. You could also list prescription glasses. I prefer not listing those. You would have to know the prescription to say what it is. I really don't like doing that, but I have. And you could also list glasses without the lens, without the plastic or the glass lens, just the frames. I've been told you could do that. I've never done it because I never find just the frames. But sometimes people just want the frame and they'll put their own glass in it. So that's also a thing you could do. Electronics, definitely want to test those either at the thrift store before you buy them. If you want to take a chance, bring them home, test them at home. Make sure it has all the cables, whatever cable goes to it, like the VCR or TV or whatever it is. Make sure either those are included or you either have them at home or you buy them yourself. The item could sell without the cables, but it's going to be a slow seller. You're not going to get as much. You also want to have the remote. That's very important. I know people sell VCRs without remotes on eBay, but those are going to be the slower sellers. Most people want a remote. So if you're buying a VCR, DVR, Blu-ray, get the remote. Make sure the remote is attached. Or sometimes the thrift store doesn't keep it with the item. They keep it like behind their counter, so you could always ask them. Or you can order one cheap from Amazon or eBay, if you wanted to do that. But you always want to test your electronics. If it's broken, you could still sell them. I've sold broken items. I've sold broken cell phones. Sometimes, there are people that repair those items and then they resell them themselves. So obviously you'll get less money, but you can still sell those. Wall art. I prefer to sell it without the glass. What you could do, if it comes with a frame, you can take it, and I'm talking about prints or paintings or posters. If they're in glass, you could take them out of if it's like a large one, you could take it out of the glass, roll it up and ship it out in one of those cardboard tubes. I have shipped breakable large pieces of art. I won't do that again. It's so scary. You could buy the pool noodles and cut those in half and put them around the frame to help. But I've done many a Frankenbox, and it just takes a lot of time and effort if it's breakable. Now, you're still going to have to do it if it's not breakable and it's a large piece of art, like a painting or a print. But it's just a lot easier if it doesn't have the glass. Because one time I sent it to somebody and the glass broke, and the guy said, next time you might want to just take the print out of the frame and ship it that way. I go, good idea. He was really nice about it. But if it's a small picture, I don't mind, and it has glass, I don't mind shipping that. That's fine. But good wall art to look for is the kind made out of canvas. It's like somebody painted directly on the canvas, that you're still going to have to protect the frame because it's canvas on a wooden frame. So you're going to have to put that in a box and protect it with like packing paper or something. Or you can there's also art that's just, it comes matted, but the glass is not included. So I've listed and sold that as well. So it's up to you guys. If you want to do big paintings or pictures with glass, go for it, but you better protect that well when that sells, and you gotta get that packed up. You might have to Frankenbox like I've done, put two boxes together. You're gonna have to really use a lot of bubble wrap and packing paper so that does not break in transit. So and obviously if you got breakables, what I do now with breakables, you guys, I know I said I'm not gonna stay away from them, but I'm still selling like mugs and stuff. So with mugs, I wrap them in bubble wrap 3 times, like 3 yards of bubble wrap. Then I wrap them in packing paper, like double layer of packing paper. I tape that up. I put it in a small cardboard box. I tape that up, and then I put it in a bigger cardboard box. And I've been doing good, you guys. I've not had any breakable mugs that way. So that's what I recommend. If you sell breakable mugs or small breakable items, that's what you do. I double box from now on. I'm not taking more chances with the post office. So I've been doing well with the breakables. Haven't had a breakable break in a while. So hope these tips and tricks helped you guys. I really hope that when you're going to the thrift store, you're thinking about what you're going to purchase before you purchase it. This is your hard-earned money you're using, and you also want to list items that are going to sell for good money for you on eBay, things that are going to fly out your store, and so you can go out and get the money from those items and buy some more items. So hope you guys are doing well. If you're having snow, enjoy snow, but hope you're staying warm and cozy in your home. I know it's the cold time of year. So love you guys so much. If you haven't liked and subscribed or shared my content, I would love it if you would. I just so appreciate you guys that watch and subscribe and like and share, all that good stuff. So I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Love ya. You're great. Bye.